Skylar was the best player there for the past 3 years.
Hey,
She's a
Kenwood or
sophomore
Whitney
at
Young?
Whitney Young.
Oh,
She's a sophomore at Arizona now.
okay.
But like when Skylar was there, they beat Kenwood. Well, Kenwood beat them in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
This is Skylar's junior year. Then Skylar beat them city championship, and then beat them again in state. But ever since then, Kenwood wins in the regular season and the state playoffs. But Whitney Young always get that game.
The city, yeah, the city.
Maybe
It's that big state. Maybe it's being in credit union, something like.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kenwood ain't been downstate. They'll lose like the next game or something like that too. So.
And I didn't even know they had that many Division I girls on the team. Like when I did some research, I'm like, dang, she going here. I'm like,
they've always
they loaded.
Been good. Always been good.
So I wonder, like, they had a discussion. This is all basketball, but like for football, they say it's like an unfair advantage for the Catholic schools. But then when basketball come around, it's dominated by the public schools. Like, why do you think that is? Is it just...
I won't say it's dominated by the public schools. In Chicago history, it's a lot of publicly, it's been that way. But I won't, now it's not necessarily dominated by like city
Right,
schools.
yeah. It's
Suburban schools are good.
Yeah.
They still get that edge just because of the history. We get the reputation because of the history, but it's not necessarily dominated.
Right,
But I feel you. It's a lot of attention comes to public schools.
Guarantee I'm putting in all this work in the all season. All season, I can dominate all season. Put in work in the all season. All season. So I can dominate all season. Putting in work in the all season. All season.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Offseason Podcast. We on episode 30. We finally back, getting guests on. It's been a long year for us. We've covered football, the football season. We're now at the end of basketball season. It's playoff time. So, in fitting, we're here with Ahmad Starks, legendary high school basketball player in Chicago, college basketball player professionally, now an elite performance trainer in the area. So how you feeling, man? You just finished your session. I missed it. I wish I could have been here to see it live.
I got some footage of it, though.
Yeah, we got some footage. We'll be showing it.
No, I appreciate you having me on. Like, I feel good. Session was good. Just had one of my Nick Rakosovic, just big time professional. Played at USC. Now he's played in China. Now he's headed to Puerto Rico Thursday. Super good. So just got him a lot of shots, but it feel good. Like I love doing this. The skill development work. I always had a passion for doing it. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all reaching out and wanting to get in tune with me. So that means a lot. And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, appreciate you for allowing us to come through. I know when you was doing it earlier, you was very locked in with the guy that you mentioned, and I could just see the work that it's a lot of work ethic that you probably had a lot of hands in a lot of people's development. I know earlier when we was off camera, you was mentioning that you develop a lot of the younger high school players in the area as well. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah, that's kind of how it started. I was actually my cousin that was here in the gym today was asking, like, man, do you get a lot of stuff on word of mouth or social media? And I was like, it's a lot of word of mouth. It just kind of picked up over time with I haven't really approached pros and pro teams and college teams. Hey, send me your guys. Like, this stuff happened organically. So it started off by pretty much a group of freshmen, sophomores that are, and they're college sophomores and juniors now. Dalen Davis at Princeton, Darren Ames that went to Kenwood, J.J. Taylor was a big one. Data Ames. Richard Barron's at Providence, Miles Rubens at Loyola. It's a long list of them. I can't say them all, but they kind of started this whole thing for me. Like, I always give them big praise because they were the big names of high school, and their parents and them, they just started coming to me organically, just off their parents knowing my name, and then it just built. Built. And at the pros, same thing. I played professionally, so of course I grew up with guys, but they all came to me. I didn't reach out and say, hey, let's do this. The Jaleel Okafors, all that. Jaleel hit me, hey, Ma, when I get back in town, I want to get in the gym. That was that. Like, I could have easily hit Jaleel, Jabari, and just a bunch of people that I played with and know, but it came organically. So I like that, and now it's just I'm hoping to just continue to expand on that. But the youth, to go back, the youth part, that was the passion for me. Giving the game back. I was gonna step away from the game, but when they came around, it brought the love back for me. So we just continue to flourish that way, and now mentoring and helping all these guys get college scholarships, get to be professionals. that means a lot for me to give it all back.
Yeah, I think that's the best way for it to happen, though, right? Organically, because when it happens organically, I think, in my opinion, it shows the care behind it all. You know what I mean? Sometimes, a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons, but it seemed like when you said it happened organically, people were coming to you because they knew, I'm pretty sure, about your past and your history with playing the game of basketball in Chicago, maybe in AAU, as well as in college, and then coming back, giving them the game that you may have learned throughout your tenure, giving it back to like a lot of the younger guys and even some of the older guys that you play with, as you mentioned as well. So I love the fact that it did happen organically because, a lot of I think it's always good to give back,
No,
Yeah.
So where did it start for y'all? Like when you started your training, because obviously I don't want to skip through the history, but like when you started training, where did it begin at?
For sure, we can talk about it all. Man, it kind of started. The guy that was helping me, Sam Thompson, he played at Whitney Young with me as well. Like super high fly, played Ohio State, just finished a 9-year professional career. He's the first person to just say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I stopped playing ball. I stopped playing overseas. I came back. I was chilling. And, of course, he was going to come to say, Ma, let's get in the gym, like just obvious. That's my best friend. So, but what took off on the business side was that an old coach of mine at Whitney Young, he was a freshman coach, Kevin Snyder. He has his own basketball program, NBU. He asked me to come back one day and was like, hey, can you come work out one of my guys? Just his AAU program. Just come get him a gym. He could use your expertise. I said, cool. And I trained the kid in front of his dad, gave him had a good workout. Dad was like, man, what's your price? He was like, we loved it. What's your price? And I was like, I hadn't thought of, I had like that wasn't a thing. He just asked me to come help out. Like, I really needed a break from the game. Came back from overseas. I decided to retire a month before that and was just like kind of stepping away, getting into business stuff with my mom, which I'm still doing, but I needed a break. And so I just come to help out, and he's like, what's your price? And I'm like, oh, let me get back to you. I didn't plan on none of that. Just helping out coach. And then a coach from Mac Urban Fire, Corey Bradford, and his son Chase, who's I forget what Chase is at Marist. We were just talking about Marist a little bit. He plays at Marist now. He was like, how can get you working with my son? Like, they just happen to see it. And I'm like, all right, let me get back to you. Like, but it just honestly, like you said, organically just happened from there. And then boom, boom, boom. Then the high school guys came, and then the girls that we were talking about. I'm big, heavy on the girls side. So Skylar Jones, Brianna, that's at Arizona. Brianna McDaniel went to Kenwood. She's now at Maryland. Like, they just started coming. Destiny Jackson was at Whitney Young. Like, they just started coming. So that's how this all started. It just came about, pushed it, and then.
That's dope.
And here we are today. Like, so it's a blessing.
That's love. And that's what we need in the area, like more people to develop, because when I talk to a lot of these kids, so I coached before I was doing this, and like a lot of it is I want to be Division I. I want to go to the NBA. I want to do you have all of these goals and aspirations, but they don't necessarily have a direction. And so they just think like, it happens. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be in the NBA. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna have a Division I scholarship, and it don't necessarily work like that. So we need more people like you to be able to explain the actual process, because you've been through it. So it's like, bro, you saying you want to do this, but you doing that don't really line up. You probably ain't gonna make it doing that. You know what I mean? So it's good to have the more people giving back, because it's a lot of sports legends that's from the area, and we need young coaches to come back and guide the kids. You know what I mean? If everybody just like, oh no, I'm doing my own thing, there's no guidance out here, and a lot of these coaches are getting older. So if they retiring, who's left? Like, the pick of coaches is not the highest quality, and it affects the kids. So yeah, that's why I love guys that get out and train. They go the extra mile for the kids, because they need that. You know what I mean? Like, you could really change the trajectory of a kid's life based off of giving him the necessary information or giving her the necessary information. So yeah, I love that. Whenever I see people doing this, I know it's super necessary. It's not enough. You know what I mean?
I say to like the parents that come to me and the kids that the best part of we're going to get in here and work. We're going to get in here. We're going to work. Like I said, I play the game. I know the game. We're going to do quality stuff. But beyond that stuff, because you can see that stuff on the internet, you can YouTube it, you can see it on my page, other trainers' page. You can't get the conversations that I can have with you with majority of the world. And so, like, through the experience of mine, other professionals, other D1s, people that I know and I talk to, I can give that information back through experience.
Right.
I can't say you can find drills or whatever, but somebody helping you and coaching you through the process of certain things, like you just said, that has done it, that's very rare. That's very rare. And so me being still young enough to like relate to the kids and all that type of stuff, I can still play and come bust y'all ass if it's necessary too.
Exactly.
Like, I'm still able to do that. And
Yeah.
we play ones all the time and all that. But that me having doing it and then can still do it, there's a respect level that comes from that.
Exactly.
And so, but that's what you want. Like even like you said, a lot of people are older. It sucks because some people may be saying the right things, but kids may not receive it that way just because, oh man, he older. Oh, he never played the game. Like, no, you have to respect what I'm telling you at a certain point. So that's to your point. That's a major plus. Like,
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I wanna, cause I know you talked about how I kind of got started with the training the kids and stuff. Kind of want to take it all the way back from the beginning. I know you was probably big on the AAU scene and also small fry basketball.
Yeah, I was gonna
Can,
say that.
can you kind of elaborate? The start of it all. From the, I guess the inception of starting playing basketball when you was a kid.
Yeah, like I'm getting chills low key, like cause
Yeah.
I'm getting chills here cause that y'all made the video, which was dope, like the promo video, which I had no idea about that.
Right.
Which so many people has hit me up from that, like, hey, can we get in the gym with you? So like I appreciate that, like
sure.
all of that is great. But another thing on that, like, yeah, like people gotta hear that, like once they hear that, oh, he's done this, or he works with these people, cool, but he's done this himself. That means a lot.
Yep.
So like I'm bad at
Credibility.
something. People around me know like I don't talk about myself a lot. I'm bad at that. So like when y'all did, I'm like, okay, that was dope. Like I appreciate that. Like because I don't do it enough. But people need to hear those things. Just what I'm saying, just for how they own knowledge. And but you didn't mention like the small fry stuff. So like to me, that's why I'm getting shit. That was the best time of my life. Like that the small fry through high school and then now as a professional, like best times of my life. So playing small fry, my dad started me off playing ball. I was 2 years old when I first picked up a basketball, going to the gym with him, just shooting on little rims like they got around the corner, like, man, just loving it, just falling in love with the game. By 5, I was playing bitty basketball up at Dyer High School. I was 5 playing with like 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Always playing people older than me, always. That's how I got better. That's how my IQ was enhanced. And me and my dad stay in the gym. I give him the most credit for that. I give him the most praise. And my dad, he passed away maybe, we had 9 years ago now, going on 9. But like, I wish he could see the things that I was doing. Somebody wrote that in the comments, like, I know your dad smiled down. Like, that means the world to me.
Yeah.
Like, cause without him, there would be none of this. There would be none of it. So going on to the small fry stuff, my love for the game, like, that's where it came. I was talking to somebody else the other day. They said like, it's like consensus that I'm the best small fry player ever. And like when I heard that about 5 years ago, like that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Like, cause it was a crazy time for my life. Like I loved it. And then when they said like I'm the best at that level ever. Now, granted, guys, y'all know like Derrick Rose plays.
Yeah.
He mentioned in his latest he mentioned my father in the podcast.
Yeah, we saw that.
And that's
Yeah.
So
we
he
want to talk about that.
Yeah,
too.
he mentioned my father in the podcast, and so like Derrick Rose, Jerome Randall, Will Bynum, like guys, y'all know, they played small fry. Jerome played for my dad.
Jerome Randall. I think my brothers actually went to school with Jerome at St. John. Yeah.
No, he didn't go to. He went to. So Jerome went to Hales here in high school, Hales Francis, and then he went to California for college.
Yeah.
But he. Are you talking about grammar school?
Grammar school, yeah.
That is. It's like Southside.
Yeah, Southside.
It's somewhere. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did go to that. That do make sense though. I forgot what it was called. Like, but a lot of great players play baseball. So to say like I'm the best, to come from that meant the world to me. So that's where my love for the game grew. Winning a international championship, playing against teams from Puerto Rico, New York, Jersey, all the above. That meant the world, and I had to play so many great players through those years, and to be listed at the top of that, it was great. So that's kind of how this started for me. And AAU, big plan for my dad, and then we transitioned to, he was still my coach, but we transitioned to a team called Ferrari, which Tyrone Slaughter, head coach of Whitney Young, was one of the leaders of, and that's kind of how things like
Slaughterhouse.
like,
Right.
yeah, that's kind of how that
Yeah.
thing. All the guys 2 years ahead of me, AJ Romsley, he has a big Instagram presence now. He was probably the ringleader of starting guys to go to Whitney Young. He was the first.
The feeder.
Tyrone Slaughter got the
Yeah.
job. It became the feeder kind of off that. Like, there was some
Nice.
Simeon Gays that played, but a lot of those guys went to Whitney Young, and like that was the start of, and then we built kind of what you see today.
Yeah.
That's so important though, like that building that pipeline system,
Yeah,
that feeder,
super.
Yeah, we
because it
always
start with the development when they're young, and then you getting them to the right individual that's gonna take it to the next level. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, I think over anything, the school or whatever, kids truly want to play for a specific coach. You know what I mean? That coach that's going to develop them to get there where they need to be. You can say like the branding of the school and everything like that helps, but I think it's really that access to that coach that's really what's going to propel them.
The relationship
Yeah.
on top of that,
Relationship,
as well.
exactly.
On top of that, so a coach that you can trust, you know, with like you said, the development part, getting me to where I want to go. And then also relationship is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, and they make it seem like you wrong for saying, I want my kids to play for this guy, or I want my kids to go to this school. Not every coach is good. Now, this is my same sentiment. I say this all the time. Every coach is not a great coach. So it's like, why would I send my kid here and it's going to be a lack of development, a lack of teaching, a lack of all these things? I'll drive them 50 minutes to go to the city. People drive from the suburbs to the city. They make a big deal out of it, which I think is something that should be addressed. Like, a kid should be able to go where he wants to go, where she wants to go, without any restrictions based on the advancement of my basketball career, my academic career, whatever. Like, it shouldn't make sense that you're bordering or you're blocking things because of what? What sense does it make? If I'm in the suburbs, I want to go to Kenwood because they got a historic program and they get great coach and connections. Let me go play here, and I can live where I want to live. That's how I feel about it. It's not like everybody in the city or everybody in the state is gonna shift schools. Like, no, it's specific people who want to do specific things. So it's just like, I don't get that. You make a kid play somewhere with a terrible coach or a terrible program, it don't pan out for him. Then what? That's his whole life. Like, that's serious. It ain't just basketball at that point. So, hey, a lot of people don't like that, but that's just how I feel about it. Like, get rid of that shit, man. Like, let the kids play where they gonna play at. You know what I mean? Because they gonna do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, fuck it. Like, it is what it is. But it's important to how, like you said, how those relationships, how those coaches that's gonna get you there, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Definitely. I know you was mentioning, just to go back a little bit to the small Fry AAU area, you mentioned a lot of like top talented players that you play with. Who would you say is probably hands down, unequivocally the best player you play with, whether it's in small Fry AAU or high school?
The best player that I played with,
Or even against.
Yeah,
played
I was gonna
with,
say
played
against.
just was.
so
yeah.
like you want me to keep it to younger years, like for now.
For now, we keep
for
to
now we
young years.
keep, because my pro answer is an automatic answer. The answer won't change for the rest of my life. The best player I played, but we'll get to that. We can get to that later.
Gotcha.
All right, cool.
As a AAU high school, best player I played with is Jeremy Richmond. They actually just had a post about him on Twitter today. Like, he went to Waukegan High School.
Okay.
He went to University of Illinois for a year, and I hate that he kind of got into some trouble after that. But like, he was everything in high school. Man, he was Mr. Basketball. At least definitely my senior year, but probably my junior year too. McDonald's All-American. Junior year, they posted about him today because he hit a half-court shot in like the sectional finals his junior year to, like, you know, help lead them to go down state. So they posted about it today. We ended up beating them in the state championship my junior year. Then senior year, they beat us here in the city. Senior year, in the Final Four downstate, I hit a buzzer beater against them to go back to the state championship game. So like that's on my page and stuff like that too. But like, that was against hit. So, but he was everything. 6'7", like, compared to like Jason Tatum, like everything. I want y'all to look him up because he was everything. He just didn't shoot the threes. You know, the game is different now, so everybody's shooting threes, but like, he didn't shoot as many threes as Jason Tatum. But like, the size, the skill, posting up, passing, all the above. Like, so he was amazing. So I gotta give it to him. As far as who I play with, I played with him on the Mac Irvin Fire.
Okay.
Mac Irvin Fire. Shout out Mac Irvin Fire.
Yeah.
They've been breeding a lot of players for a while.
They've done a ton. My Mac Irvin Fire team was amazing. From myself, Wayne Blackshear, he was a McDonald's All-American, went to Louisville.
Yep.
I was training him as well. Jeremy Richmond, starting five was me, Jeremy Richmond, Wayne Blackshear, Myers Leonard, who I think he just announced he retired, but he was, again, McDonald's All-American, went to Illinois and played in the NBA for, 8 to 10 years. Mike Shaw was a big name at the time. Tim Hardaway Jr., who's still in the NBA, had a hell of a team. So it's been a ton of good players been around, but like I say, Jeremy Richmond was the one.
Okay. And then what about playing against though? Like, did you have any like rivals that you just played against every game? You knew like, all right, we got to bring it.
It's tough. It was a lot of good guards in Chicago.
Yeah.
At the time, I will say, at the time, Mike McCall, he went to Foreman High School, played at St. Louis, and is still playing pro now. Like, they were really good my junior senior year, so we had some battles with them. I would say that's a guard I knew that we had to bring it.
Right.
Had to bring it. That's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
In the city at that time. Like, it's a bunch of great guards, but just a personal battle, I'll say. Like,
For sure. All right. So now, what about the current one? Because you were saying there's one like.
the best player I played against ever is. Well, I played this person in high school.
I know what
But
you're about to say, but go ahead.
you won't know.
He said you won't.
You aren't gonna think. DeMarcus Cousins
Really?
Marcus Cousins.
is by far the best player I've
Cousins?
played against in my life.
I did not
You
expect
don't-
that.
Yeah.
They
I
know-
didn't
nobody
either.
is. Nobody.
I didn't
And
either.
like, especially younger kids, they be like, "Huh, him?" And I'm like, "Y'all
Talking
crazy."
about him? Like, yeah, they.
Like, y'all
but
crazy.
he was-
First of all, he was everything. Like,
Yeah,
At Kentucky, he was a dog.
but
Yeah.
even in NBA, like they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
posted
there was,
about
yeah.
Anthony Davis was like, "Hey, if Boogie wouldn't have got hurt, we would have won it all." And who knows? That
Yeah,
probably wouldn't
like-
have happened because the Warriors still had KD. But like, he averaged 25, 12, and 5. Like,
Yeah.
he was everything. But y'all didn't see the high school him. Like,
No, I didn't.
the version of him that y'all see is like, yeah, more big man with skill.
Mhm.
I'm picking up DeMarcus Cousins, dribbling the ball up in transition. He's hezzy pulling me from NBA 3. Like,
What-
at
what high
15,
school?
he was in Alabama.
Oh, he was.
So this is AAU. It was AAU stuff.
Oh,
Had to
okay.
be,
Okay.
yeah.
But I mean, I played against at Whitney Young. We traveled the country playing,
Yeah.
so like we still played against top two. We played Oak Hill Academy my junior. We played got Renardo, Sidney, and Solomon. I can't think Solomon Hill. He was in the NBA. Like super big names all throughout. Like Tristan Thompson. Played all these guys, but DeMarcus was everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I never seen a guy with that size and that skill, like step back threes, and then I'm going to take you to the block and dunk on you at 15, 16. He was number one player in the country. Like, so he gets my nod. I played Klay Thompson, played Isaiah Thomas, Iman Shumpert. Like, he gets the nod.
Yeah, and then all right. So speaking of, because I was talking to Trey about these Iman Shumpert. He was on a podcast and he was talking about how they played Whitney Young, and I was talking to Trey. I was like, man, was that the year he was talking about? Were you there? He was saying Michael Jordan pulled up to the game and like the game stopped, and everybody was just like, he told a story about that. I want to know if you was a part of that.
So I would have. I don't remember Mike. I mean, I remember Mike coming to our games because Marcus Jordan was a year older than me, so we won state together.
In 2009,
we won state together in 2009. So when we played Iman, it would have been 08.
Okay.
I remember playing Iman in the summertime in 07, and then we ended his career in 08.
So that's what he was saying. He said it was the playoffs. He
It was the
played
playoffs,
at
so
Whitney
yeah.
Young. It was at Whitney Young, and it was for the playoffs. And
That might have been a different year then.
maybe. Oh, okay.
It might have been some. It might have been some because when we played Iman, it was at Proviso East in what's this week game, sectional finals, sectional semifinals, and we ended his career.
So that's crazy because even in the podcast episode, whoever he was talking with said Proviso East, and he was saying no, it was Whitney Young. So
But it was at Proviso East, so they might have just mixed that up.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it was,
maybe, okay.
It was the game was at Proviso East.
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Ended his high school career though.
In his high school career, we ended up losing the next game. We was number one team in state. We ended up losing the next game to Mount Carmel. We was talking about Catholic football schools, but yeah, no, we did. That did happen. And Michael Jordan, came to a decent amount of games through that
that's
time
dope.
period. Marcus was with us for 2 years. So that was a hell of a time.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say like, what was that like? Was Mike around a lot, or was it just like you'll see him periodically?
I say periodically. He was, all around. Like
Yeah.
being Michael Jordan.
Right, for
but,
sure.
he's around. Came to the big Chicago State games. Came to playoff games. He came down state when we won it.
Okay.
So having those experiences, and I give you, so I had been around. I had played against Marcus since we were kids, and so he would come to those games periodically. So playing in front of him, like I had known Mike for a while. But a story that always comes up. So during that state championship run, we win the Final Four. We beat Thornton. Reggie Smith was another great player that we played on my Mike Ivor Fire team. He went to Marquette. Beat them. They hadn't lost. They had lost. That was their only second loss the whole year. Beat them to go to the championship. Everybody in the locker room jumping up and down. I really wasn't because that wasn't my personality. But everybody jumping up and down like happy because we going to state championship. Like, boom. Coaches come in, knock on the door. It's Michael Jordan walk in.
Oh wow.
So Mike, like, you know, he see everybody kind of jumping up and down, simmering down, but he like, can I speak freely on here? Can I speak?
Yeah.
Mike is like, the fuck are y'all doing?
That sounds like I was expecting that, though.
No, he said, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, y'all ain't won shit yet.
Right.
Y'all got one more game to play. Like, this shit not over with.
Right.
Man, everybody was quiet as fuck the rest of the night. Like, nobody said a word. It was silent in that locker room, silent going back to the hotel. Marcus was my roommate, like, on every trip that year. So it wasn't a word being said. We got the TV on a little bit, but everybody was locked in. The shoot around the next day was crazy. The energy was right, like, and so we knew we was coming away with that win. We had a tough battle, like I said, with the guy Jeremy Richmond. Had a tough battle, but we knew. Then he came, you know, partied with us a little bit, Mike, and he was. That's a fun ride, but that was like one of the craziest moments in my career. Like,
and that was 08, you said?
That was 09.
Oh, 09, okay.
Just have him come through the door and be like, hey, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Right.
But he was dead serious. Like, there was
right.
no smile. Like, fuck y'all doing? Y'all got another game to win. Y'all jumping up and down for it. But that's the Michael Jordan that you would think. That's him.
It's that winning mentality.
Did y'all get a chance to like see him playing? Like, did he ever practice like shoot around or nothing like
he
that?
Never came.
No,
he never came to do any of that with us. Like, I mean, he was definitely old by that
right.
time. Like, so he retired maybe, I think 02. But then last year after he like came back, I think it was something like that. So he was done.
Yeah, he was done for sure.
Yeah, man, you got a lot of stories.
Man,
like,
basketball history. Yeah,
basketball history.
Yeah, because
sure.
when we was doing our research, and we was sending stuff in our group chat, and then Trey was like, man, he a legend, like a high school
legend for sure.
Yeah,
because you got a whole list of stuff you was sending us. I'm like,
I was just like finding everything, just finding shit, college, pros. I'm like, damn,
that was crazy.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that I don't even think about, and sometimes don't even give myself credit for it, but it's like it needs to be said, needs to be known, and I got to give myself my own credit sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, I don't really talk about none of this stuff.
Yeah, yep. Well, I want to talk about like high school, and specifically, you know, you are a development coach and you do skills. What was it like for you and your progress and your own development? You know what I mean? Just you being like getting to Whitney Young and like in your mind, when did it start turning over that, okay, I'm doing this as a career, I'm gonna be the best in the state, or was it just you playing ball or you just having fun? What was the mentality like?
Okay, to kind of piggyback up, I have to take it back to small fry for a second, because like I said, I was really good then, and so playing up, and so by the 5th grade, you know how they got all these rankings and stuff like that. So at 5th grade, I'm the #1 player in the state, which, you know, as I know, and I tell kids that all that stuff means nothing. It don't mean nothing for a long time. It don't mean nothing even in the high school, because I played with, like I said, McDonald's All-Americans that haven't made to the NBA, that didn't play professionally, like who were the best in the country. So it's a long road with this game. You can be nobody now. Maybe guys that y'all have heard of. Al McKinney played on the Warriors. He went to Marshall. Kiefer Sykes. Y'all heard of them names?
No, I don't think so.
Some people y'all should look up, but you might want them on the podcast, because people that I played against in high school that weren't super big names, definitely not nationally or anything like that, both played in the NBA. But they was like, respectfully, nobody's to me. Like, I'm the #1 point guard in the state. Like, this is, except I'm at Whitney Young. We just coming off state championship. These ain't nobody. You just keep going. You never know. But to your question, like, by 5th grade, I'm #1 player in the state. So now I have these expectations on my back. I got a target on my back. But I have expectations for me and my father. And ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional basketball player. So, you know, even so, once we get to high school, before then, me and my dad were always working. And it wasn't like the kind of what I do now, but it's more your basic necessary, you know, some ball handling, shots, how to get to your spot, certain things like that, and understanding the game. Other than that, you know, I wasn't training like what we have now. That wasn't like the thing. You know, it wasn't. Most people weren't doing those type of things. There were people, but it wasn't the popular thing you see today. So from that, it was just my dad, maybe Ronald Chin Coleman. He's an assistant coach at University of Arkansas now with Calipari. He was at Kentucky with those guys as well, but he was a assistant coach at Whitney Young with us for 3 years too. That's why he got his start. Actually, he got his start from coaching me in small fry my last year. So I do take credit for like starting him off. But that was his first ever coaching thing, was coaching me in small fry. So I give him shit. But he also, like, man, coaching me at that time, like, I'm the best player like around at that age. So it's like, I feel like me and the other guys we had around helped propel his career. And so later on, he would train me, other players we had at Whitney Young, but that's all the training that was going as far as the skill development that was going on then. Like, it wasn't a ton like it is today.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you think that is, though? What do you think changed? What's the difference between now and today than back then? Why would you think it was?
Right here.
The cameras.
The camera.
So now it's a popular thing. So kids in general, they want, everybody was playing ball, but like the training, now you see it all the time. It's there. So even there were people that were doing it. Of course, I know Kyrie Irving, Brandon Knight, we the same year. Like, they was training, they was getting work in, but you didn't see this every day. Like, it ain't on your feed every single day. So now that's the thing to do. Not only is it good, but it's popular, and you can see it. So now, this guy Kyrie Irving's really good. This is what he works on. So now this is what I'm gonna try to do to better my game. And it's just that you ain't gonna be Kyrie Irving, but there are things you can do to better your ball handling, better your shot, all that. So that's why it's taking off. And so many people also, to be honest, there's so many trainers now, like, people they just kind of profit off of it.
Yeah.
Some people just like the game, which is fine, but I also think you should be training a certain type of player. Like, those experiences, you should work with the people you kind of have experience with the situation. So that's kind of my take on that. But I think that's why it's popular, because there's so many people doing it based off what you see on the internet.
For sure. Yeah, so I kind of want to I don't want to jump into college yet, but I kind of want to tie it into what we're talking about now. So you left Oregon State and you broke the 3-point record there. And in high school, like, obviously guys are growing, obviously. So for point guards, shooting guards, all guards, like, typically they're 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". You're smaller than that. So when you were in high school and you knew you wanted to get to that next level, did you start having to adjust your game based off of that, like guys starting to grow? Because obviously 5th grade, everybody's probably the same size, but as guys start to get bigger, do you start to adjust that in the moment? Like, I got to switch things up. I got to do something different. I got to work on my 3-point shooting. Maybe, what was your mentality as far as that goes?
So I preach this to my clients all the time, like, as they're getting older. Like, the game gets faster every level you go up. So players just get faster naturally. Players get stronger, more athletic, taller, as you said. Like, so the pace I'm working out at now, the place we play at in high school basketball is going to be way different by the time you get to college. Like, the game is just fast. How hard you got to play. Guys are bigger. So if I take 2 dribbles, get into the basket off this move, 2 or 3, I gotta lessen that. That's got to be 1 or 2 dribbles to get this layup off, because it's gonna be a 7-footer coming to block this. So for me, luckily I was always smaller though, but I never really knew it. It was just crazy to say that. Like,
he was just balling.
So talented, right?
Of course I know that. Like, yeah, but it never crossed my mind.
Right.
Like, I'm just getting to it.
Yeah,
so
it didn't
didn't faze me. Of course I know I'm smaller than everybody.
Right.
Sure. But when I got to college, I remember one day in the locker room, I was like, damn, team, I got 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" on my team. My other guards are 6'3", 6'4". I'm like, damn. It just called me one day. And they used to call me little man, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, damn, I really, but it didn't faze me. Like, I was always good at, that's why you got to do it now, but I was always good at creating space. And I was always quick. I always knew how to create separation to get my shots off and stuff like that. So you've got to do that now in preparation for later.
Yeah.
But those are the things you need to, like you said, that is necessary. I have to create more space to get this shot off, because this guy is that much taller. I got to get this off that much faster. So I didn't shoot, which is crazy. I didn't plan on it, but it did become a skill of mine. So, like, I always could shoot the 3-ball, like, always. But my old teammates, my friends, they tease me. They call me Mr. 2-dribble pull-up, because I was always getting to a mid-range jump shot. Always. I'm going to take 1, 2 dribbles. I'm going to get to this midi. Right. That was, like, all I did in high school. It was effective.
Yeah.
But there's clips of me, as you highlight, there's clearly clips of me shooting threes and making threes, like, clearly. But I didn't plan to be the all-time 3-point shooter. I didn't plan to set a record of that. Like, my shots just came that way. So now, like you said, guys are taller. So now I chose to work on that and create more space. But I didn't, like, key in on, I got to make threes, da-da-da. Now, like, okay, I get 3 points for this. I'm going to create my space, and I'm going to make the shots, take the shots that they give me. So it's an asset. That's why, Steph shooting out here. Yeah. Everybody can't do that, but that's a hell of an asset to be able to open up the floor that way. So now if I'm able to make shots out here, especially with speed, now I can get anywhere else I want to get to.
So speaking of that, like, how do you feel about the evolution of the game? Where it's yeah. All right, go ahead.
'Cause like you said, but you said it early on. You said back then they weren't shooting threes like that.
Like
now
that.
it's like that's like the most
Right.
biggest thing that a lot of the players do now, at least in the NBA for sure.
And it's always trended that way, to be honest. I remember my dad one day be like, man, the three is like the new dunk. But this was a long time ago.
Right.
This was when I was in high school, going to college, and I was like he's like, three is new dunk. When you hit threes, it gets. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. But, like, cool. But I just think the game is shooting too many threes. I think it's all revolved around analytics. There's too many the guys watching film and people behind the scenes like, no, like we make these shots at a higher rate than those shots. Those are the toughest shots in basketball. And those numbers probably say yes. Those numbers, I agree. Like those numbers, those are tougher shots sometimes. But now everybody it's the same game every time. Like it's just everybody coming down, penetrate, kick, three baller, sidestep, three baller, or layups and dunks. Layups and dunks, those are the highest percentage shots. But you still have to make and take those shots in there. There's got to be ways. There are ways to create good shots in the mid-range area. So now, for you keeping the defense on their toes, and the game will be even more entertaining than just everybody pretty much doing the same thing. So, but that's the way the game has evolved to the analytics, and Steph Curry changed the game a lot by doing that, and because he's like, looks like your average person, but he's an NBA superstar.
Yeah.
Because of how well he shoots the ball. He does other things great, but that has allowed him to now do other things great because you got to be on your toes as soon as he step across the half.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So now every kid, everybody's like, oh, this is what I need to be doing. It don't work that way.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the problem. Is like everybody can't do that. Like like that's a specific great skill that he has. Like not everybody could just cross half court and now we in shooting like.
Everybody want to shoot out here. No. Kids know we're gonna start inside and we're gonna work our way out and we're gonna shoot threes because that's part of the game. We're gonna definitely shoot threes, but we're gonna perfect this. Everybody, they come to the gym, they see NBA line, all the kids want to go right to the NBA line, shoot threes. Like
why?
And you missing? You just went 2 for 15.
Right.
That's that. Ain't nothing cute about that. We want to make shots. Like we're trying to score. Like that is how you play basketball.
Exactly.
We ain't trying to just do that just cause I made 1 or 2 like that. That looked cute. No, that's like I said, back to the video stuff. That's the highlight culture as well. Like I hated that stuff. Quick story. So when I was training high school kids, when I first started, Arnie Duncan did a story about that too. But like Arnie Duncan's a politician. I was training his son, Ryan Duncan, who plays at Princeton now. And he was like, man, next time I come, can we get a video going? It's like, can we make a video? And I was like, the fuck you want a video for? Like I was pissed. It's like 2021, like, and I wasn't familiar yet with like this is the culture because I didn't come from that. So I'm like, fuck you need a video for? Like, come here and work. And I'm like, okay, like I get it. Like I still hated that he asked, but like I get it now. This the culture we live in, and like y'all just made the video for me. Like it's promotion. You know what I'm saying? It's all that, which is free advertisement. It's all that. So I get it. And it's time for cute stuff. That's fine. But like I wasn't hip to that. But that is the name of the game. That's the part of the culture we in now. Like a lot of stuff is on film.
Yeah. And you got to understand the difference that it's easy to make it look good. Like when you a kid and you don't understand social media in real life, we could come in here and make an hour worth of content for somebody hooping and put it out there and they don't get no work the rest of the year, but make it look like I'm doing something, but you're not going to get nothing from that. So understand that, you on camera, it look good, all that stuff, but you still got to be consistent in putting in the work. You're not recording every time. You may record once or twice a week. The rest you got to be working. You can't just show up for the video.
You need to be working regardless.
Like
man, so that's some people come, hey, can I get a video? I've gotten messages like, hey, can I get a video? Doing like, first of all, I'm not setting that up. Like, that's just not what I do.
Exactly.
It was just funny. I talked to y'all know who Chase Adams is.
Yeah, Chase Adams. That's Bull Bucket. Oh,
no. Chase Adams. He proved for Marion. How
old are y'all?
I'm 28.
Yeah, we graduated. So I graduated in 2014. I'm 28. Yeah.
Also Chase's age.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's like a little brother to me, right? I talked to him today. He watched my highlights because Chase was I was somebody Chase looked up to as well. So I have a highlight tape from way back in the day. It's sophomore year of high school. This is like early stages. But like the camera's reversed, so I look like I'm shooting with my left hand. So he said, man, I went home and I came over your house. We watched that video. and I've been working with my left hand jumper ever since. Now Chase can shoot left-handed. But he got it because of that. But that was just because of the camera.
Yeah.
Had him thinking I was really shooting left-handed.
Right.
And like that's just like you said, what you can do with all just the editing and stuff. Like you can just do so much to make it look a certain way.
Yeah,
like.
and that's crazy because it's similarities in both of y'all. Because Chase was like he went viral at a young age. I think he was like the best fifth, fourth grade or something like that. A ball is
like very similar from.
He went where at
Chase
Marion?
Marion.
Was
Chase
that after
Adams.
Tyler?
It was after Tyler.
After Tyler.
Oh, so it was the little. He was small too.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah,
He played for Jackson State.
Yeah.
Is he? Was he done or is this his last year?
No, he's done now. He's
done
about
now?
to go play pro.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
He should be signing his first real professional contract very soon.
Oh, for sure.
Nice,
Shout out
nice.
Chase Adams, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, all right. So we touched on small fry high school basketball. I want to kind of get into your senior year and when your offers started coming in because I saw you had a lot of different offers, but you chose Oregon State. So what was that process like for you in the recruiting?
So the process was pretty. I didn't have the typical process like I wanted to. So I committed to Oregon State a month before my junior year started.
Okay.
I committed early. I was verbally committed to Oregon State. The coach, Craig Robinson, went to Mount Carmel. His sister is Michelle Obama. So Brock that's his brother-in-law. So I played soccer growing up, and I played with his son growing up. It was one of the kids I played with growing up. So I always had a relationship with that family,
Right.
with Coach Rob. So I remember he was at Brown. It's the end of my freshman year, I think. And he on the phone with my dad. I'm coming to the house, he on the phone with my dad. And I get on the phone, he's like, "Ma, man, like I'm at Brown right now, but I'm looking to I'm probably gonna make a move soon. Got something bigger coming up. Like I wouldn't even recruit you here. Like I know you're a better player than that. I wouldn't even recruit you. So like when I get this next up, you're gonna be getting the call." So he go to Oregon, gets Oregon State. I get the phone call. We go on a visit. My dad like, "You gotta do this. You gotta do this." And I'm like, "Not really," because my first offer was from Valpo. I got that at the end of my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And then so this stuff comes sophomore year, but I'm getting Northwestern's coming along, Virginia's coming along. A couple other schools talking to me. But he was adamant on it. And honestly, I didn't really want to do it. And so I was like, fuck it, let's ride. Like, I trust my dad. Like, I know the coach, which is also good for me. I know him. He's a black coach, too. I got a relationship. So, you want somebody you can hopefully trust. Right. That's the goal. It's like we talked about earlier, relationships. I'm going to go to school for this person, da-da-da. Yep. So that's kind of how that came about. And so quick story on that. So November, whatever the day was, 2008, there's election day. Barack Obama gets elected. That's the first black president. So that day, we get a call that morning. I am committed at this time. I get a call that day, which is pretty illegal, but I get a call that day to come up to Quest, which is now Hope Academy, but it's like a big sports facility. It used to be called Attack. Yeah. So we go to Attack to go play ball with Barack and all his friends. The morning he gets elected. That day. So me, my friend Sam that was here earlier, like I said, Craig Robinson's son, a bunch of people, another Kevin, Whitney Young, James Reynolds, who one of our good friends, a bunch of kids.
Man, we need that footage,
kids,
man. We need that footage.
I have a picture on my Instagram.
We need that footage.
I don't have no, like shit, ain't no
I'm already knowing. Yeah.
So they might have some just because, it's Barack Obama's election day, but I ain't out there.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just, so we get the call to go do that. I'm like, all right. I remember I told my girlfriend at the time, I'm like, don't say nothing. Like, da-da-da. She told everybody. I was pissed. But we go, pull up, tanks outside, SWAT team sitting outside on tanks. Boom, we get in, got the pat down. I'm like, oh shit, like this big ass tank outside. Like they sitting on there, gun, ready.
Right.
Go through, pat down, go hoop with the man. Like it's about 40 of us in there, like just getting it in.
That's crazy.
Just hooping. So it was super fun.
So Obama could really hoop.
Right, I was about
Or
to say
was
that
it
he
just
could hoop.
because at that time when you was probably hooping, you could probably actually give it a proper assessment of how good he is at hooping. Can he really hoop?
Yeah,
Or
like
is
he
it just
can,
like for like he can hoop for a like older person? Like what is it? Like can he really ball?
yes, he can play, but I wouldn't say like, you know what I'm saying, he's a professional college athlete, something like that. But he can play the game, like for real, like he can play.
can really play,
I wouldn't.
yeah.
I ain't here to sugarcoat it.
Right.
I ain't here to make him look good, and I love him. You know what I mean? Like but he can play the game.
Right.
You know, it's different. Like his politician friend Arnie Duncan, I said I was training his son.
Yeah.
He can actually play. He's been in like he played collegiately, played professionally, played over. He played in Australia where I played. It's a difference to it. Like it ain't the same politics, but
It's levels.
Yeah, the same politician, but there's levels to it. So he's been like celebrity all-star, NBA celebrity all-star games. Y'all have seen him before.
Right.
The white,
Yeah,
sure.
white guy,
Sure.
white guy, really nice. You can look up NBA celebrity all-star games. Like he's been in there like cold. They be in here every morning hooping.
And what's his name again?
Arnie Duncan.
Arnie Duncan. All right,
Sure,
we definitely-
yeah.
You
We have
won't
to
have
look
seen
him
him
up,
before, like positive, but
All right.
great dude. But that day, like I said, that experience during my high school career, during my recruitment process, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's nobody other than the people that were there could say that. Like those 40 people that they did that on the day that he was elected the first time, which is obviously a super legendary day.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than the obvious.
Damn.
So.
Yeah.
That was huge, and that was junior year. So I'm already committed, but those relationships take you a long way.
Exactly.
So that was obviously cool. And later down the line, I played for Illinois Warriors. We had a great team. Then I played for Mac Urban Fire my last year of AAU, my last month of the AAU scene, and I'm killing. And I go up to number 28 in the country, and University of California comes knocking on the door. USC come knocking on the door, and I'm on a phone call. Jerome Randall went to Cal. This is my big brother.
Because he was a small guard too.
Small
as well.
guard.
Yeah.
He lived with me on and off in high school. Like we would take him to school take him to high school at Hales before I get dropped off in my school. Like that's my big brother. So him going to Cal and now calling me saying, "Hey, they want you. You come right after me." He a senior there. I'm like, damn, like that shit is appealing. Like who wouldn't?
Exactly.
He ended up being player of the year that year, so it was crazy. So we on the phone call, and I just kind of like Craig Robinson got wind of it, and it just went all bad. Like so, I'm like, man, I just kind of stuck to my commitment, and I ended up having a pretty good career. Like I could have made a different choice, but I had a pretty good. I enjoyed my experience at Oregon State.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then so what actually went into you transferring out to Illinois?
So my 3 years at Oregon State were cool. It was like some on and off stuff, but obviously like set the all-time 3-point record. I scored almost 1,000 points.
Yep. What
in
are you,
just
9
those 3
points short?
years. 9 points short.
9 points short.
My best friend just gave me shit for that. He was like, "Are we not gonna give him?" It was like Saturday night randomly. He was like, "Are we not gonna give him our shit for not getting 9 more points? Like you can make all them threes you be shooting. You couldn't make 3 more threes." I'm like, "Yo, relax." I got it the very first game at Illinois. Like I think I had 10 my first game in Illinois. So I was like, "Man, chill on me." But so I had a good career there, but it was a lot of stuff going on between some basketball stuff, but also family. So my grandmother had got sick. She was going through Alzheimer's. She lived with me my whole life, so that was an important person to me. My parents, the beginning part of their divorce was going on, and it's a lot of stuff just going on. So I was just it was kind of a lot on me, to be honest. And being closer to home was just felt like the easy option, and ended up doing this part because so after that year Illinois, shortly after about a year later my dad passed away. So it's like in hindsight, everything's kind of for a reason. Like he was able to attend all them games, like coming down there. They came to every home game and then bunch on the road. So just having that time with the family, that one last ride, like, I'm sure that somehow happened for a reason.
Yeah. So you were you were finishing college when your pops passed away?
I had played my first year pro.
Okay.
At the end of that, I came home. I went blind. I went partially blind. That first year. At the same time, he's having cancer. The divorce is being finalized. Just a lot of stuff going on, and then he passes away. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
But that's that time period. So right after college. But coming back to Illinois, it's fun. It was a fun ride, but I wanted to be back closer to home, and Illinois just came, and it was like, man, okay, the school, big state school back home, and it was great.
Yeah.
Like,
Big Ten, one of the best basketball conferences.
Yeah, for sure. So it was good. Like I liked my experience. When I look back, I kind of like, I'm like, man, I thought I should have, not should have, but a good choice also would have been for me, Bradley. Because
okay.
the thing I say about Bradley, the coach, Chin Coleman, he's at Arkansas now. He was assistant coach at Bradley then. So it would have been great to go play for him, somebody who knew my game, somebody who did everything. Like I could have got my rocks off there, could have killed. But I went to Illinois, and I had a good last year. And it just transitioned to being a pro.
Yeah, and then I was seeing Illinois, a waiver. You had a waiver that didn't go through, or what happened with that? Like,
that's because I wanted to come back home and to be close to the family, as well as my grandma who got sick. So it was a not a medical waiver, but like I forgot what it's called, but like
a hardship waiver.
It's a hardship waiver to be closer to your family member and help out in that regard. And it got denied.
Yeah.
Because I believe it got denied just because we were just outside of the mileage. It's like a certain mileage that's like, okay, it's basically like you're not coming back home for this reason if you going to school in Milwaukee, if you know what I'm saying, whatever, like, so we were Illinois is like Champaign was like 129 miles or something like that. I think it had to be like 100-mile radius or something like that. So
crazy. Yeah, man, that's crazy. And I got another question. I just want to go back a little bit. And I don't want to serious out, like make it too serious. And if you don't feel comfortable talking about it,
no.
But like for me, my dad passed away when I was in college. So my junior going into my senior year, he passed away that summer. So I actually started playing rugby in college, and I won a national championship my junior year. And then that summer he passed away, and I had to go back, like go into camp, all the necessary stuff. So I just want to know, like, from your perspective, like, what was that like for you adjusting from that happening to you still having it? Because you went into your professional career. So it's like now it's like, all right, shoot, your training, all the preparation, you still got to do it, but you have to deal with this also. Like, how did you deal with that process? Like,
it was tough. It was probably the hardest things I had to deal with, bar none. So like you dealt with a little bit of adversity doing basketball, but then this was a different type of thing. So just him being sick, and then it seemed like it's getting better, and then him like getting even more sick. It was painful. So coming back, kind of helping take care of him just a little bit, and a bunch of family stuff going on. It was a lot. So it was like a break in between coming back. I had to stop my first year in the middle of like February, come back home. I was out almost a year and a half before I got to play again. So like, some of that motivation was gone for a little bit. I needed a moment to regroup. But it was very tough. But like I knew, I wanted to continue this path. Yeah. And this is like what me and him set out to do. Yeah. Since I was a kid, like he knew and I knew I'd be a professional basketball player. And I hate that he never got to see me play a professional game. Like he was planning to make it to Sweden that year, but it just didn't happen. But I remember I came home Christmas break, we watched the game. I had like 32 points, 9 assists, so I got to watch that with him. Yeah. So he was proud, but he never got to be there. But that process of just trying to get back up and work out, and couldn't really work out while I was taking care of him in his final moments, and then I got to pick myself up to go do it. After the fact, it was a tough process, but you gotta fight. Like I said, this is what I always wanted. I had a passion for this. So I still have a passion for it, but at the time when I was playing, it was a great passion for what I wanted to do, and I need to continue. Yeah. And for myself and for him.
Yeah. And I think that's super important, because I think it gets lost behind all of the fame and basketball stuff, and that's why it's hard for people to understand that athletes are people. You know what I mean? You're not just a hooper. Like, you going through all this, but for us, we like looking you up. Oh, we see you did this, you did that, broken records, championships, Michael Jordan, like everything, Barack Obama, but you still deal with life outside of that. You know what I mean? It's not like you a robot and you just a hooper and that's it.
That's my favorite term to say. Like, it's not robot. We're not robots playing basketball. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is a person playing basketball.
Exactly.
So we're not just a basketball player. So like, even when people like now, like the betting and FanDuel and stuff like that, they be hounding people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what somebody
could. Points, man.
Yeah, you couldn't do to you, man. You making XYZ money.
Like, dude.
No, like it's way. These are people, and I just started betting too. But like, I get it though. Like I understand and. You know, people have bad days. You don't know what this person going through. Like, so that's why it's called gambling. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen, what somebody going through. And I hated that at Illinois. I got my a real taste at that. Like, and my coach John Gross at the time, he was like, he told the team like, it's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. And that's like a life lesson too, because it was like, just because you had 30 last night, don't mean you know what I'm saying, the best player in the world. But just if you had a bad night, you had 2-4 points, you had a bad game, that don't make you the worst player in the world either. It's going to happen. Yeah. Both sides are going to happen. So, like, block out that media stuff, all the other stuff, you're going to have to be as level-headed as possible and staying focused. And that was, like, the greatest message I probably took for him in that moment because, yeah, the media will blow you up. If you cooking, they're going to treat you like you Michael Jordan if you getting it done. But if you have a bad game or two, some media sites will bash you. That go from any level. So, but that don't mean you the worst player in the world. Exactly. You know what I mean? Just because you had a few bad games. Like, so you don't know what somebody going through, or you just had a bad game. Yeah. That shit, it happens. You could be the happiest person in the world. Damn, I ain't have a good one last night.
Yep, and that's all it is. And I just saw a motivational video. Nipsey Hussle was talking about that, like not being too high on the highs and not being too low on the lows. You got to stay balanced. You got to stay balanced. Appreciate it when it's good and respect it when it's bad, but you just don't dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? That's life. That's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I love your story, bro. Like this is. I'm glad we was able to sit down with you, bro. Like for real.
There was a lot of gems for sure. Like things that you experienced, and I can see why. Like you bringing it back to when you was talking about the training, you have those, you experience those things, and you can relate to the kids of hooping with some of the greatest players around your time through small fry, AAU, high school, college, all of that. The fact that you were able to do all of those things, experience it, come back and tell those things, and then also give them game on how to like the fundamentals of basketball as well, that goes a long way. They can respect it. They can actually want to listen to you. Yeah. I'm over here, I didn't even play basketball, and I'm over here like, damn, bro.
But all of it applies to life. You know what I'm saying? It's life lessons, and I continue to preach that to these kids. And it won't hit now. It'll hit later that these are life lessons. It's not just about what's between the lines right now. So you're going to have to fight through those highs and lows in life.
Yeah,
we dealing with them every day, no matter what the circumstances are. Some days gonna be good, some days gonna be bad, but you can't cave it in. Yep. And it's on the basketball side, like you said, just the experiences. Had my highs and lows in college of, damn, some days good, some days bad. And I got a kid. I'm not gonna say his name, because I love him, but he going through a little moment right now. But he's not really being responsive, because which I've done before, not this bad, but like sometimes people, you go in the shell when you're not having your way. Like some people, they shy away. They don't want to talk to nobody, and sometimes that's okay, but you can't do that forever. And I want to talk to him to get him out of that, because I know when I sank a little bit, didn't want to talk to nobody, didn't want to deal with it, but you got to find your way back to that and push your way out of normal. Like you said, like I know how to help people get through those experiences, and I have helped people get through those times. Because I've been there. I literally live exactly what him and other people are going through. But you gotta reach out and talk to people. Yeah. And I will talk to them. For sure. But still, it's hard when you're in that moment. Yeah. You don't want to hear nothing from nobody. But that's not the way to go about it most times.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree. Yeah.
I wanna since the high school college playoffs, Illinois high school college playoffs is for basketball is going on right now. What are some of the teams, because we go to the games often. I know we've seen Kenwood probably about 5-6 times this year. Kenwood girls, Whitney Young girls played in the sectional championship last week? Yeah, last week. We've just been seeing a lot of basketball. Who are some of the teams, because I know you train some of the players, but who are some of the teams that you are expecting to make some noise for sure? Whether it's boys or girls.
Down this stretch, I'll talk to both sides. I'm going to go first, Whitney Young. I'm going to say Whitney Young, which is they haven't been super high on the radar this year. They, you know what I'm saying? It's not the typical this year, maybe even last year, not the typical Whitney Young teams of old.
They solid.
Yeah, they're still a good team. They got some phenomenal players. Yeah. Marquise Clark is a hell of a player.
Yep, Antonio.
Tone is a good player. They got other pieces, and DeMaje and all this other stuff. Caden Crittup, a young sophomore. They got pieces to make some noise down this stretch. Like they just beat a good Lincoln Park team.
They did.
I was at that game, and I worked with some of those Lincoln Park players that are really good. So Whitney Young, first and foremost, my school. I think they have a chance to make a push. It's not favored, but we know they know how to play basketball at the right time and get it done. Like you said, I've experienced it. I've seen it. And Kenwood, I wish them the most success. Things that they've been through, suspensions last year, and Mike not coaching, but he around.
Mm-hmm.
Mike
We
Mike
see
at
him at
every
all
game.
the games.
Mike at every
Yeah,
game. No,
every game.
Mike at every
Yeah,
game.
got
Sometimes
to.
he yelling from the sideline,
Yeah.
but that's why the kids they ran over and gave him the
city
plaque and
championship.
Took a quick picture with him, all that. Just
That
what I'm
was
saying,
dope to
let him
see.
hold it. That was great to see.
Yeah.
I was
'Cause
right
that's
there for it.
That's a lot. That's a lot, man. I'm sure he appreciated that like big time.
Exactly.
Mike is really great at what he does, and promoting kids and helping people get on the platform. Really great. So I want to see them succeed. Devin Cleveland, Alex Austin, Amari Edwards. Love those kids. I want to see them prepare. So those are my two right now, and they're going to have to face each other. They both win that play Friday.
That'd be the third
That'd be
time.
Bro,
Third
just
time
like the
this year.
girls, man. The
Yep.
Kenwood Whitney Young basketball, like, I don't know if it's been like this
It's
because we
recent.
haven't, but it's a recent thing.
This is
Okay.
First of all, I will say this on camera. Kenwood was absolutely nothing when I was coming up.
Bro,
Yeah,
I don't remember Kenwood being like the top dogs when we was in
No.
high school. There was Simeon.
Yeah, it was always
Simeon.
because
Simeon, that's
And Whitney
Ken-
Young. And Whitney
Yeah,
Young.
Simeon played Whitney. Simeon plays Kenwood Tuesday, but so the Simeon always relevant, always will be. They're not Simeon of old, but like they're a good Simeon team, and they gonna peak at the right time as well. They got good coaching, but Kenwood. The reason Kenwood is what it is, like I said, back to Mike Irvin. Mike Irvin got the job at Kenwood, so now Nick Irvin leaves. His brother Nick Irvin was coach at Morgan Park. Morgan Park was probably good when
And
he
they was
in high
good
school.
too.
Yeah, they was
Exactly.
definitely
I think they
good.
won state.
They have a
so,
couple states.
Yeah.
One Morgan Park. My senior year, one of the guys that played Wayne Blackshear, he came in my senior night, beat me on senior night in the city playoffs. Like I was pissed, but like that's the Morgan Park team. They were good for a moment, and then they had a time. But Nick goes to college. Mike Irvin now gets the job at Kenwood. So that just is the same trend. His brother, they get the same. That's when they get Darren Ames. They get Data Ames. They get J.J. Taylor, Davius Lowry. They get a bunch of sophomores, young guys that are elite at the time to come over, and that's why you have Kenwood. What it is, Chris Riddle. The next
Riddle,
year
yeah.
he goes over to Kenwood, so you get that whole wave of Mac Irvin fire people and to go over there. So that's why Kenwood is what it is. This is recent.
Yeah, because we looked at the history of the Chicago public league championship. This was
This
their
they
first
first one they
one.
won.
And since
No, the first one.
they wasn't around since 1901, but that's when it started. But I mean, since they've been open, they haven't won.
They
one.
went to the Final Four in like 2018-ish or something like that. Like, which I was like, wow, I was surprised at that. But I don't even know if they was in a red division. Like, it was just like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Kenwood
yeah.
wasn't. This was an afterthought. I never played Kenwood. Never would have. So, but kudos to them.
They're having a phenomenal season this year.
Yeah. So that was their third city championship game in a row.
Yeah, it was. And
They
lost.
did
So that's the
finally
Curie
won.
So they played
lost to
Curie last year as well?
and
They lost to
Simeon
Curie last year, and they lost to Simeon
The year before, and then they beat Curie this year. Okay.
So
And I like Curie too.
Curie
I like
nice, too.
Curie.
I like
Curie's
Curie.
nice.
I got
like
Whitney Young
Curie.
beating them though.
Yeah, I like Curie.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got Wednesday. I got Whitney Young beating them, but Curie has come on. Like they made some noise for sure. I'm gonna like some of their players.
I remember when Cliff was at Curie. That's our era. Cliff
Alexander.
Alexander. I remember it was a story. When we used to play at the field house. You remember the field house, the AAU, like in the field house. You pull up and it's the big basketball on the front.
Where is it? Where is it
I
at?
think it was somewhere in Indiana. It might have been Maryville, Indiana, or something like that.
That might.
I don't
have been- it
know,
might
but
have been
he
Maryville.
broke the backboard like they was playing. I don't even remember who did Cliff play for. I don't even remember. But yeah,
Might have been Team Rose or Mac.
it was Team Rose. It was Team Rose.
He played
Yeah.
fire too, but he played with
I
the fire.
think
but it might have
when he
been
did
Team
that,
Rose
it was
too.
Team Rose, and he broke the backboard. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We in high school. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
I had Cliff in the gym a few times.
Yeah.
But obviously, like I'm gonna go with Jaleel Okafor.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go with
Yeah.
Ja.
I remember when
Yeah.
Jaleel was in high school. That he was just.
So those two, that's an amazing.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
to think of like having big men like that in Chicago is rare.
Mm-hmm.
So like those two, the best two players in the state, two McDonald's All-Americans, like big men though, rivals. And Cliff beat them before.
Jaleel won in college, right?
They won
Duke?
national championship.
Yeah.
He was freshman of the year. I think he was national player of the year.
Yeah.
And they won national championship. Like,
Damn, that was a time.
but Ja was
bro.
cold. Like
yeah.
he's still he's so good. I can't lie to you. Like he come in, he works his butt off, but now his body is like even in better shape. He can handle his footwork has always been phenomenal. He good, man. He'll probably get called back up to the NBA the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He got a 10-day.
Yep. The Pacers.
And then he now he back with the G League team, but I think at the end of this in the G League season, he's gonna go finish with the Pacers. I'm pretty sure of it.
That's dope.
So I wish
Don't
him
stop
the
because
best.
he's still what he's not 30 yet. Is
he
he? No, he's
could
like
be
29,
young.
right?
No, Ja was 2014, so Paul's he's like 28.
Yeah. Because
You
he's
don't
a
see
dog, bro.
Dogs on the high school side, like I said, the Whitney Young, Kenwood.
Mm-hmm.
I also I like HF. Like they have this role. They got a tough role.
Yeah.
Like it won't be easy for them.
Not at all.
But like, and they're not. I don't think that team is in total as good as last year.
No.
But
not far
they
off.
still have pieces. They still got they reloaded with some transfer. They got pieces. I like Jaden Tyler. Like
Jaden Tyler's
the guy that
returned
worked
from-
with me.
yeah,
he was
he
returned-
returned
Yeah,
from
he
last
was-
year.
Okay. Yeah.
He's been working with me for years, so I'm looking for him. Darius Hawkins, a freshman,
Mm-hmm.
had him since he was like in 5th grade. So he can
He
go.
he a dog.
another one of those
Yeah.
type of style, like like
No, he can go. So like he provides offense and defense for them. So I like that. I like Bolingbrook.
Yeah, it's a lot of good
You
teams.
train any kids from Bolingbrook?
Davion Thompson I've had as like when he was like 8th grade freshman. When they went to Bolingbrook, I saw him less. But like for a minute I had Davion, he's phenomenal. And so look, I like those teams. So when on the girls side, we still got Kenwood. So like obviously
I'm probably check them out tonight.
I want Kenwood to win. That's gonna be a good game. Do you know where it is?
It's I don't know. I gotta look it up.
I
but they
can
play
get-
Maris for sure.
Look, they play Marist. I'm not gonna make that, but I want them to win. I'm gonna go see Crane versus Phillips. So that's 2A. But like a city team battle to go downstate. Like I feel like that energy is gonna be crazy.
And see, that's why I wish we had more. Like we got to build on like what we doing because I want to get out to the 2As. Like it's a lot
All
of
of
schools
them,
we
they cover
cannot
gotta
get
get
there.
this. It's
Like
hard, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's hard. It's too much going
Yeah,
on, and it's just
exactly.
me and him. So it's
Yeah,
like
but that's why,
man,
and
like-
I can relate to that because but that's why I forget who it like maybe like Slow Shay or something like
Slow
that.
Shay.
Got different people be hitting your Ballers
Yeah.
Life. Got different people hitting places like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all
They got a
y'all can
good
definitely
media
do that.
network,
I
yeah.
like that's why I'm trying to expand my training and stuff to where it's not just me. I'm trying to bring on a couple of trainers to hit different age groups and different areas of the city. So now we, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you profit more, but you have a wider reach too. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
just. It's a bunch of kids that want to get to me. Somebody just hit me right now. They like far south suburbs, like Cretish,
Yeah.
and like that's a tough drive, to get to get to me and stuff like that. And even up north, want to reach different areas of the city and be able to help as many kids as possible.
Yeah, because then you reach once you got like a bigger team, you reach more people and everybody can get that knowledge. It's not just in a close
Exactly,
area.
not just here. Like you know what I'm saying. I don't. Despite what it may look like I don't just want to work with city kids. I love it though. Like I
Yeah.
love to give back.
Right.
Absolutely. Like this is home. I want that. But that's not like this is all I want to do. Like
Right.
no, like I'm a businessman. I understand how this stuff works, but also I want to reach as many people as possible and help as many people.
So, with you saying that, like, do you have like what are your goals? I guess for training next. Like, do you have a facility? Like, what's your what? Not I wouldn't say end goal because I feel like it's never an end goal. You always, if you a business minded, it's always gonna be the next thing. But like in your near future, like, what are some goals that you have for your training? I know you just mentioned adding
No,
some
yeah, that's what
but-
I want to do is want to ask
Yeah,
some
you just wanna
people.
add-
It's hard to find the right people just based on like you
'cause
said
quality is
quality
important.
people.
Yeah.
Their schedules, all that. It's got to work. They got to be as passionate and as professional as I am.
Yeah.
So that's important. I think I got some good people in mind, but gotta see.
Okay.
Gotta see. But outside of that, like I would like my own gym. So that's something I've been looking into. I've made some progress in that category. Like, I don't want to say too much, but I'm hoping to build on that soon. I am
Okay.
finalizing a business plan with that, but I'm hoping to make moves on something like that in the near future, very near future.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
So that would be an asset because I've grown the business to where I can where it's necessary. I don't want to keep renting out places and using but we'll see. It's all got to make sense.
Okay.
Nice.
But I think those are the two: just building the team, and then hopefully building the team, and then potentially your own gym, and just I don't know. Like I've gotten college coaching offers. Obviously, I've done the Chicago Sky, so the professional realm is something I consider as well. But I don't want to lose Starks training. Like I want to keep that going. That's why you need other people.
Yeah, exactly.
But I still want to be able to touch this too. But like the college game, I never really wanted to coach, but it's growing on me.
Yeah, and that was
I
my
like watching
next
college
question,
basketball
like,
way better than the NBA at this point now.
What about even high school? Like, what you think about that?
So
Coaching high
I
school?
coach at the University of Chicago High School, University of Chicago Laboratory Schools, U High girls team. So I'm assistant coach of that.
Okay.
But that's something I just, it allows me to just, have this going in the meantime while the high school season going on. So,
Yeah.
so I supplement some income, but also work with girls, build them. Like they're not a ton of girls that are really good and really passionate about it, but help lift them up. And I got one that's really good. She should be a college basketball player.
Okay.
But it's close to home, and I use the gym there to train.
Okay.
And I've just been around those people for a long time, that community a long time in Hyde Park. But other than that, and you don't really see me post much about that because it's not something that really I really talk about. But as far as high school is it's a thought, but it's got to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, so like if I would love to be at Whitney Young coaching. Like it's a no-brainer. I would love to, but it has to make sense for me. Like, CPS don't get paid a lot of money to do that stuff. And at a school like Whitney Young, it's a demand on your time, which is I respect. Like I lived it. Like so it's a demand on your time from a coach. They traveling a lot too, like But to do that for not a little money, for a little bit of money, and take away what I have going on here, like limit my time because, it's hard to. It's been stuff going like. I don't think I can use the gym as often. I need free. If I'm going to be somewhere, I need to use that gym. So when we're done practicing, I need to use the gym for my own training session.
Right.
At Whitney Young, it hasn't been it doesn't seem that simple. I'll just say that. So, that's probably the reason I'm not at Whitney Young. So if I go to a school, I'm going to need all that to, make it work for me.
And that's what I said too. Like, because I want to get back into coaching. Because I was coaching football, I want to get back into it. But the demand is. Well, here's the thing: when you as good as you are, the demand is high because it's coaches that show up when they want and do it. But I know who you are. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to really push and be great and do. So it's gonna take that amount of time. So that's taking a lot away. You hours and hours.
If I'm gonna do it,
you're gonna do it exactly.
So that's why, to be honest, working coaching that lab over here, it's not as serious. There's a great academic school, so it's not like they're not a push on basketball. If I'm gonna go somewhere that's serious about basketball, or you gonna get a mod that's serious about basketball, you're gonna get me. So that's why it's got to be the right fit to where I can still use a gym, I can keep my business going, and things of that nature. So it matters to me. But the college side, I'm intrigued by it a little bit, especially if I can have the freedom that one coach was talking to me about, being able to just kind of have a player development role, but I can still maneuver and do my stuff. So that's intriguing, but not everybody would be able to as willing as that because people be locked in. They want 100% their staff, which I get. They want 100% full time. So it's just interesting. But I would like to try it locally.
Okay.
At the Division I level.
All right, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
We talk about a lot of stuff,
man.
Yeah.
We covered a lot.
Your story is crazy. Like the things that you experienced, the things that you went through and stuff, and how you able to give that back. That's something that not many people do. So I want to say thank you for doing that. Leading a lot of the younger guys as well, younger guys and girls. I know you mentioned some of the David Cleveland you trained, or one of the guys you used to train.
Definitely Kenwood.
Yeah, Kenwood. Yep. So you get into a lot of the guys early before they even blossom to the potential that they're going to be. And
for sure.
So it's I think it's really, really important and grateful that you're able to do that to a lot of these kids.
And it's gonna keep growing, bro. I see it. I see it just from the post and everything, our research and everything. It's gonna be there, bro. No doubt about it.
For sure.
It ain't even no doubt.
It definitely is, and I probably will, start reaching out to more people to bring in even higher level clientele and continue to have that around. Which I haven't done any of that. And as you can see, I always have high level clientele around. It always happens every day, especially now. Season's gone, but when summer hits, it's gonna be a flood of people in the gym, from NBA players and all that. But I haven't even I haven't reached out to nobody to go do that. So soon I may. Yeah. I'll just let it all happen organically, which I love. But we trying to build a business. We still trying to build a brand. So that's it'll be some other names y'all will recognize coming this summer.
Sure.
And it's just looking to build a brand. Speaking before we touch back, I want to just give a shout out to like the women's game, which I love. Been a big fan of working with. Some of my favorite clients are the women I train and have trained from the pros down to college. My time with the Sky was amazing, like phenomenal. So like I want to keep, for those out there that are like building up the game more, continue to, because I know I have definitely in the city and moving forward. Keep doing that. Keep building the women's game. Like it's gonna continue to blossom, and keep developing those young girls as well. Because I love what I'm seeing as far as how it's growing.
Yeah, and we definitely, like I said, it's just so many aspects of sports to hit for us. Like when we get help, I definitely want to delegate it to women too, because we only been to Kenwood and Whitney Young this year.
Yeah.
But I know we went
to
to Nazareth and
Bennett,
Bennett,
well.
earlier on. But it's more that could be done. You know what I
And
mean?
then
It's
TF
more.
North and TF South.
Yep.
There's
So
more
just
that could be
highlighting,
I would
just trying
love
to
to
cover.
highlight them the same
Just a
amount
lot
as we
more
highlight
following
the
them,
guys.
ranking them. Just because when I try to look up information about the girls like Whitney Young when they playing, it's harder to find information like the history of the CPL championship. They had all of the boys, but they had none of the girls. So I can't see who won. At least I can't find it. You know what I mean? So it's like trying to go back and look and see who won in 2001.
They don't have all that? Did they just have recent?
Well, I think the boys was the Sun Times, so it was Chicago Sun Times.
The Sun Times listed.
They made an article.
He'll always list.
But they didn't do the girls though. I didn't see the girls.
You might have to go on
the
CPS website. Maybe like I'm hoping they got it up there.
Yeah, I'll try to look for it more. But yeah, it should just be more accessible. You know, that's what I'm getting at. It just should be a lot easier to accept. Like if I type in boom, it should be something there that's doing it. You know, we got Max Preps, of course, but they're not covering Chicago. They're just covering the Whitney Youngs, the best of the best in Chicago. But it's not everybody though. But
it would be great. Like I said, obviously Kenwood got great girls. Like Ariella, she's really good.
Yeah, she is.
I've had her the past year or so. Destiny I've had since she was a freshman, Whitney Young. But maybe y'all could even cover something on Destiny.
Destiny.
I know y'all did the media day,
yeah.
but maybe of course you could do somebody like Ariel who's phenomenal. But I just say that as far as she going to Illinois. You got a 5-star going to Illinois. You may want to have her on here, or maybe and continue to maybe
I swear
track
she was
her.
going for 50.
Track her. That game was crazy.
I'm telling you, I kept saying on this, I'm like, she about to go for 50. I was texting her like, she about to go for 50. She ended up showing 42, but still, that was a crazy, phenomenal game she had.
It wasn't effortless, but it looked effortless to me. Just like it was any bucket, any way you want.
Yeah, she was getting her spots, getting to her spots, and then getting to the free throw line as well.
She a phenomenal player. I watched the first quarter. She had like 20 first quarter, on TV. I sprinted up, quickly drove to the game, got there. I'm like, oh my God. So I was happy she was able to just keep it going.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm a big fan of that, and just continue on that side of the game to grow as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, we definitely want to work with you, work with other, trainers, anybody just in a sports world that's gonna help Chicagoland area get out there. Like that's the goal for this to be the national platform where we pushing, because a lot of people. They do coverage, but we're going to push, though. Like, I'm talking about resource. I'm talking about opportunity. I'm talking about funding. I'm talking about building things, you know what I mean, for the betterment of sports as a whole. Like, we kind of focus on football. I'm a football guy. So it's like football in Illinois don't get the recognition nationally. Like, basketball, Illinois, people know that basketball is Illinois, but football is not. How can we put Illinois football on the map where we go into California to play St. John Bosco, Mater Dei? We go to Bishop Gorman. We go down to Florida and play. You know what I mean? It's some teams.
But some teams do that, right?
Yeah,
East St. Louis is big.
But it's just not like
schools like
it's
Mount
not
Carmel,
respect.
Mount Carmel, they did last year. Mount Carmel played a team from Jersey, I believe.
They play Hun, School of Hun or something like that. But
what's a good suburb school?
Like Lincoln
Way East would probably be
one.
one.
Warrenville, are they?
Yeah, but it's just not a.
Bolingbrook was good at one point.
I think they was good when we was in high school.
They was okay like 2 years ago.
What's the quarterback?
You talking about that
went
transfer?
Jonas.
Yeah,
Jonas used to hoop.
He did?
Yeah, no.
Really?
All to high school.
Oh, I didn't know.
But he was good too, like Flavor Mean Streets, not like
I didn't know that.
Had him in the gym, and I trained his older cousins are like they're good college girls, but like he could hoop. Yeah, but now I know he's a big time. He just committed to USC. He
decommitted from Oregon.
Who his cousins play? Who is his?
So dude, Cameron Williams, she's at Miami.
That's Aaron Williams.
Your daughter.
I just told you about
Aaron
that.
Williams'
I
daughter.
was just telling him I was about to do a story on
went to
Aaron
Whitney Young,
Williams
but-
that played in the NBA.
Oh,
and
what we talking about before we got here?
what I called you yesterday, and his daughter play at Miami, and then she got another daughter that's a volleyball player that played at Tulane. And that's Jonas' cousin. So they're Jonas' cousins.
Yeah.
And he got a son, AJ,
That's
that
dope.
play at Carthage.
That's
That's
dope.
I gotta include all of them in it.
Yeah, so I
I
know,
know.
like all three of the kids, I believe those daughter, but for
That's
sure
dope.
they went to Whitney Young.
Yeah, they went to
I
Whitney
think all three
Young.
went to Whitney Young, and like I said, man, he.
Ooh, bro.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
talent
story.
everywhere,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
And the connections.
That's Jonas' cousin, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, uncle.
And
Jonas
that's why,
is
that's
nice,
why
though.
I'm glad that we doing this, because it allows us to, get the history. Because,
Yeah.
with us graduating, we wasn't like when we was in high school, we didn't look into things. We didn't know it. We just knew about our time and that's it. But even graduating is like you never had a reason to look into it. But now it's like we journalists and we
All the
look at-
reasons to
It's
now.
just it's so much
And
history.
it's
like
so much history. And the thing I will say, like, and credit to myself, like, so I always did that. Like, I always was like, I knew my history.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of kids that don't. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, they be like, y'all know this person, this person. I'm like, you in the basketball world, you should know this stuff. Like,
Exactly.
So I knew who, I was a child, I knew who Will Bynum was. And like, do y'all know who Sean Dockery is?
Doctor
So like,
something.
yeah, Sean he was a McDonald's All-American, went to Duke, but him and Will Bynum were the same year, and they were the same year in high school, but they had a game in the city playoffs in 01 when they would both had 50, and it's like it's a triple overtime game, and they both
damn.
it's listed as the greatest CPS game ever.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Oh, really?
like-
We gotta check that out.
Yeah,
then.
we
I'm
do.
at the game though, so like on YouTube, we pull it up right now. You can see me in the stands with my dad. Like I was studying all this shit from a young age. I knew all of that, and I'm like 9.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was a big historian from that standpoint. I wanted to see all the best basketball. Like so, a lot of kids aren't that way. To be honest, it's like I love studying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's dope. And a lot of people don't do that. Like for me, even film, like football, watching film, I didn't learn that until college. Like, you know what I mean? Like really appreciating film and understanding the point of film, and like you said, the history of certain players, and that could teach you a lot. Like if you're looking at the history of certain athletes and what they've been through, what they did, how they did it, you could learn a lot from that. And so yeah, man, that's definitely one thing as a coach and being in this field that I stress to the kids is just like, that's more important. Not watching highlights, not just watching somebody shoot, but actually studying and breaking down movements, tendencies. Like it's so much to the game that you don't understand, So yeah, I love that, bro. We got some work to do as
Yeah, we
far as
definitely got some
like
work to do, for
basketball
sure.
history, because it's like you teaching us a
That,
lot.
that
I'm
one
like,
game you mentioned, the greatest CPS game.
Nah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
we
we
gotta-
might have to
we-
do
I'ma
a
go
story.
watch
on
that.
one.
Yeah,
Like,
for
just,
real.
Just look
Yeah.
at it and give our take on it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, man, you got anything
No,
else? 'Cause
I'm good.
this was-
it's a
this
long,
was
yeah,
long-
it's
I
a
think
good
it's
one.
pretty
Good storytelling
long,
for
but
sure.
Yeah, we got a lot, that we talked about, and I
If I talk
appreciate
too
it.
much.
No,
But
bro,
Nah,
it's
nah, it's
perfect, man.
perfect.
Because this is the whole point. Like, we want to highlight guys like you, because you were saying you don't want to, you don't like talking about yourself. But like, that's our job to like see, like, man, this dude. We looking you up. We like, man, we got to have him on the podcast. We got to make videos, because it's like we have to highlight our greats. We have to highlight the people who are making a difference in the community, because the bad shit is always highlighted. You scroll down your timeline, you seeing all the dumb shit, all the bad shit, but the people who really making a difference, they're not being put on that same platform. So that's what we want to do. Like, man, we about to. It's gonna be so many reels coming out, like,
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
gonna be a
saying? Like,
bunch.
we about
Yeah,
to
it's
really
gonna be a bunch.
push, and if it reach, I hope it hit one of the videos that do 100,000, 200,000, 1 million, so people across the country see it, and hopefully you get calls that like that. That will mean a lot to me, and I'm sure it mean a lot to Trey if that happened. Like, our platform can help in whatever way possible. You know what I mean? So, man, I love it. I love your story. This was a great sit down for sure. Like,
sure.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So I don't got nothing. You want to close it out?
Yep. Yeah. So another episode of the offseason podcast. This was episode 30 with Ahmad Starks, elite basketball trainer, Chicago basketball legend. This just the start of having guests on our interview season. So we wrapping up high school basketball. We're gonna get out to the playoffs. We're gonna be in Champaign for the state finals. So yeah, we gonna see what happens. But yeah, y'all stay tuned in to the offseason podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Everything. We got merch coming. So Trey, you want to talk about
already
the?
out. It's already out. So it's
Yeah.
on the page. Offszn.store. So definitely get some merch. It's the first one of many. But we thought it was perfect timing for playoff season. A lot of people gonna be laying belt to ass. So for sure.
For sure. But all right.
Yeah. It's Offseason Podcast episode 30. We out.
30. Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure.